Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas. And I'm starting my series on top 100 favorite movies of the first quarter of the century. So basically, we've gotten through actually more now, 26 years into this century from 2000 to 2026. But I wanted to just concentrate on the first 25 years, which I'm counting as 2000 2024 basically is the first. So I'm a little bit late on this list, but I definitely been wanting to get out. Crazy, we're a quarter century more into this year when I graduated back in 2002. And I remember, when we turned the clock from 99 to 2000, and we had the old Y2K scare and all this stuff. And boy, that seemed like not that long ago. And now I'm looking back, it's 26 years ago. But I did want to concentrate just what are the best movies, in my opinion, that came out in this 25-year period. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to try to get through about 25 movies here on part one. And we'll probably get this done in 4 parts. So let's start with number 100 on our list, which is Tropic Thunder. One of the best comedies to come out for sure. And it was Ben Stiller, I believe, directed this movie. Also starred in it, of course. Great cast, great comedic cast, with Jack Black in here and Robert Downey Jr., amongst others. Tom Cruise gives one of the best cameo performances we've ever seen as well. And there's other people like Bill Hader in here, Matthew McConaughey. I mean, it is a great cast. Anyway, it's a really funny premise of actors trying to make a war movie, and then they get sent to a real jungle, and they aren't real soldiers, but they're trying to act like soldiers. And I think maybe they're being secretly, shot while they're in real situations, not knowing how much danger they're in. And it's such a funny premise and great performances, especially about Robert Downey Jr. Gives one of the most interesting performances we've ever seen, where he plays an Australian white actor pretending to be a black character in a movie and doing the whole blackface thing, which is very controversial, but yet it's so funny for the role and makes so much sense. He's this Oscar-winning actor, trying to be meta, so he put the blackface on because he wants to be meta in this role and challenge himself as an actor. But yet he acts like the character even off camera, which makes it so funny, and how he interacts with other black characters. It's some of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, so yeah, great comedy here. Tropic Thunder, number 100. Number 99, I have Jurassic World. Kind of a reboot of the Jurassic Park series. I'm a huge fan of Jurassic Park. I even really liked all the first 3 movies. I think even 2 and 3 are really good. First Jurassic Park is like one of the greatest movies of all time. Absolutely love it. Wasn't expecting them to not like a reboot. This is basically part of the Jurassic Park universe, but it's much later and different characters and different situation kind of, but still dealing with dinosaurs escaping and eating people. So that's the best part of the whole thing. I thought this was a really good kind of almost rebooted series. Made tons of money at the box office, and the more I watch it, the more I have so much fun with this movie. I have Chris Pratt here. Chris Pratt was like on his A game doing Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World movies. I mean, he was making so much money with these franchises. And he was perfect in the lead role. He's got the looks of a leading actor, but also a great comic touch anyways. And kind of this cool action adventure guy who trains velociraptors. And it's another situation where they create a new dinosaur. It's bigger and more intelligent than they ever expected. Gets free and wreaks havoc on the park. And what's really cool about Jurassic World is that Jurassic Park was like this idea of like, what if we set up a amusement park with dinosaurs? And in Jurassic World, we see that dream realized. We see what would it look like if there was an amusement park of dinosaurs. So that was a really cool touch on the series, that we got to see kind of what it would look like. And then instead of a couple of people being chased by dinosaurs, we got a whole group of people being chased by dinosaurs in this amusement park anyways. So yeah, again, just really fun movie. Good thrills, some laughs. Anyways, really enjoy the Jurassic World and Park franchise overall. Number 98, we have the Lego Batman movie. Yeah, I absolutely love this. Batman kind of take on Batman series, of course, with the Lego animation. It is absolutely hilarious movie, and I like even has some heart. It has some touching moments towards the end, because which I didn't expect, but it does with it deals with Batman, played by Will Arnett, who does such a great job here, and it's another great cast. I mean, every character is voice acted by someone famous. It seems like, and you bring in a lot of characters from the Batman series, which is also pretty fun. But I like how it portrays Batman as this kind of loner who just wants to be alone, doesn't have any friends or family, and just broods all the time. And then we kind of see him finally trust other people and not be by himself with the character of Robin, the butler, and then also, I forget her name, but the girlfriend kind of character in the movie. And I don't know, you see a very good character arc with the Batman, which I was not expecting throughout this. And so many laughs. I mean, I love every time they shoot a gun, they just make the sound effects for some reason. They go pew 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 pew. Die laughing. So many great stuff in here, anyways. And just a cool idea for a Batman movie. It can be very silly and funny and have heart. And yeah, overall amazing animated movie here. Number 97, we have Slumdog Millionaire, Best Picture winner, I believe of 2008, somewhere, or 2009. No, that's Hurt Locker. So it might be right after, around that period. I think it's 2008. Yeah, Slumdog Millionaire. I think Danny Boyle directing this. What an interesting movie dealing with characters from India. It's a whole movie dealing with India, the culture of India, all these characters in India, and being one of the best, like, kind of love story dramas I've ever seen. And such a creative premise, I think, interesting premise of this guy who is poor kid growing up in really terrible traumatic times in India. You know, parents I think are killed or something like that, and he's kind of an orphan and he gets taken advantage of, but he falls in love with this girl since he was a kid, and even to the current day when he's a young man maybe, he's still trying to save this girl from the kind of the situation she's in and have a happy ending anyways. And he does that by going on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in India. And he's not the smartest guy, but yet every question kind of goes back to a backstory that he knows the answer because something that happened in his past. And I love how the movie shows like what happened in his past and why he knows these answers. So it's really cool editing through, you know, him answering questions on the game show and seeing how that his past connects with it. And man, it's just a really nice story. Lots of, you know, this guy overcomes so much, and I just love the ending is so happy, and I'm so happy for the characters, and it's a good love story. And yeah, it's definitely deserved the Best Picture winning here. Yeah, really great stuff. Number 96, I have Rules of Engagement. Yes, must have came out early 2000s, because I remember seeing this in a drive-through theater when I was in high school. Actually, it was a Mission Impossible 2 Rules of Engagement double feature. I saw on the drive-in anyways, and I wasn't expecting much out of this as a courtroom drama, but yeah, Tommy Lee Jones and Samuel L. Jackson here, kind of the two main leads. And this is a movie, as I've rewatched it over the years, and I have it on DVD, in fact, it is actually one of my favorite courtroom dramas. I love a good courtroom drama. And Tommy Lee Jones as a lawyer defendant of Samuel L. Jackson's character is so good in that role. Tommy Jones is such a good actor, and I love good actors doing these, you know, roles like this. And it's a very patriotic movie as well, dealing with, of course, the rules of engagement when Samuel Jackson, as a commander in the field, has his troops shoot, looks like into a crowd of innocent people, but he was being shot at, and so he had the rules of engagement was to fire back, and he's put on trial for maybe killing innocent people, but yet he did what he had to do to save his troops and get out of the situation. And so it deals a lot with those kind of, you know, what he did, was it right? Was it part of the rules of engagement? Was it good protocol and all this? And we get that through the trial of, like, I think, you know, exonerating him that he did the right thing. But yeah, some great performances by, like I said, the two main actors. Guy Pearce is also in here as, I think, as the other lawyer. Does a really good job anyways. But yeah, great courtroom drama if you've never seen it. Very underrated movie. Number 95, I got Shrek 2. in my opinion, the funniest and my favorite of the Shrek movies. I have all four on Blu-ray, and this is definitely one I go back to the most. And I remember I saw it in college, actually. I was like a sophomore in college at K-State University, and a group of us, I was with some friends, and they're like, hey, let's go see Shrek 2. It was like the new movie. And so we went and saw it, and man, I died laughing throughout that movie. I think we all did. And it was such a great atmosphere of college kids, and we were just all enjoying ourselves. Yeah, so many great lines in here. A great character, Puss in Boots, gets introduced here. When he puts on those cat eyes, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Donkey, of course, always great here. Yeah, I thought this was a really great sequel to a really good movie. Shrek is also, a solid animated movie, but I think this was even better than the first one in some senses. Like I said, the white Bronco chase with finding catnip on Puss in Boots. One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. I died laughing in the theater by that. Anyway, it's such a memorable movie for me. I think one of the best animated movies of this quarter century, I guess. Shrek 2 here. Number 94, I have Road to Perdition. A really good kind of gangster drama set in the, I don't know, 1920s, 30s, Prohibition period. And we have Tom Hanks here playing a gangster, a different role for him at the time. But he does a really good job as, I think his name's Sullivan, whatever. And you have Paul Newman giving one of his last great performances, even getting nominated for Best Supporting Actor for the role of this, mob boss. Yeah, it's really, you got Jude Law in here as well. In fact, Paul Newman's son here, it's a James Bond before he was James Bond. I forget the name of the actor, but the actor who would go on to play James Bond plays the son, and it deals with this. Tom Hanks Sullivan is the kind of the right hand man, the most fearful hitman in this period, in this I guess area, and but his son witnesses a murder, and that the mobster's son commits. And so then he tries to kill his whole family. So they're on the run from the mob and have to try to get away, have to get revenge basically on them for what they've done. Anyways, I'm trying to spoil too much, but then Jude Law is another hitman trying to go after Tom Hanks. Yeah, it's a great, gangster type movie, I think, with a lot of good action scenes in it, great performances, really great cinematography as well. I think it might have even got nominated or won Best Cinematography here anyways. But yeah, excellent drama with a great ending too as well. Yeah, really enjoyable. Here, Road to Perdition, number 94. Number 93, we have Iron Man 3. This gets a lot of flack. A lot of people didn't like this movie, I think. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think a lot of that's because I think it's one of the funniest of the Iron Man movies, or the Marvel movies in total. And Iron Man's always been kind of a funny character. Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., incredible performance as Tony Stark. This one's interesting because it's a different director. Jon Favreau did the first two, and then I forget his name now, but Shane Black, that's his name, does the third one. It was maybe more of a comical director, and you see that in this role. But yeah, I think it's very funny, but still has some good action sequences as well. And I just really love the Iron Man character. It's one of my favorite superheroes now after what Robert Downey Jr. did with the character and Tony Stark. Anyways, yeah, and I don't know. I don't mind the twist. There's a twist ending, not twist ending. There's a twist character that looks like the bad guy, but turns out not to be. And I think it's actually really funny in this kind of creative way. Other people didn't like what they did with that character. Anyways, Guy Pearce again here as a villain. We have Ben Kingsley in a part as well. Of course, Gwyneth Paltrow and all that, and Don Cheadle. Anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I think gets too much hate. I think it's a really fun movie. Number 92, we have The Fighter. This was a great boxing drama based on a true character, true story. Got a lot of Oscar nominations, including winning Best Supporting Actor for Christian Bale and Best Supporting Actress for Melissa Leo. But Amy Adams also gives a great performance here, one for best, I think. And then Mark Wahlberg also gives one of his best performances in the lead character. And it's based on a real Irish boxer back I don't know when this was, 90s or something. I can't remember when this was, but him and his brother is also kind of his trainer, played by Christian Bale, who has a terrible crack addiction and gets himself in a lot of trouble because of that, because of the people he hangs out with and stuff he does. But he is a very good. He does love his brother, and he's a very good boxing trainer to his brother, and does help his brother out. Melissa Leo plays the mom, who I think also is very supportive and helps him. Amy Adams is like the new girlfriend in here, and basically it has Mark Wahlberg trying his character, trying to make somewhat of a comeback. He gets injured. He's trying to make a comeback in boxing, but not sure he wants his brother helping him anymore because his brother's so toxic of a character. But he finally, I would say the Christian Bale character does give a good redemption arc here, who kind of realizes the trouble that he's made for his brother and the whole addiction problems, and goes clean and is there to help his brother in a championship bout, and ends on, of course, as you usually do on a sports movie, a championship bout anyways. But the performances are so good. These are some of the best performances I've seen out of all these characters, especially Christian Bale. It is an incredible performance by Christian Bale. So deserved the Oscar. So happy he won it. He's one of the best actors working today. And I mean, I was so emotionally moved by what happens to that character in the movie. Anyways, and his redemption arc is great as well. And it's very inspiring, I guess, at the end, him being the underdog boxer and winning a championship at the end was a really good feel-good moment as well. And just Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale were so good together. I mean, but Melissa Leo and Amy Adams also were nominated. So, I mean, everybody gave great performances here, and it was a really good movie. So that is The Fighter, number 92. Number 91, we have Red. This is such a funny, action-packed movie with Bruce Willis. And the whole idea is that they're older actors who are retired. Red stands for Retired Extremely Dangerous. They worked for the CI, but now they're retired. But then someone's trying to kill them, so they're trying to figure out who's trying to kill them. And we got Bruce Willis in the lead here with Morgan Freeman, and a really, really funny performance. John Malkovich is absolutely hilarious in this role. Helen Mirren's in here as well. A really good cast of characters. Richard Dreyfuss shows up. And it's a movie that's very funny, and action sequences are really good. I love that combination. Carl Urban's in here as well. But yeah, and it's kind of a mystery. They're trying to figure out why someone's trying to kill them, these retired CIA officers, and what the connection is between them and what's going on. But yeah, it's such a great use. It's a little unbelievable, the action sequences, but it was so good at the same time. I had so much fun with this movie. That's why it's so far here, or it's why it's on my list here at number 91. I love this style of movie. Number 90, we have Night at the Museum, which I almost feel like this could be higher. This is a movie we watched so many times, and yeah, even I watch this all the time. It seems like at work, because anytime I'm trying to find something to watch for the residents, I'll find this movie on Netflix or something and put it on. Based off a book, but it's such a creative idea, and it's funny. It's creative. I love all of it. I just love the whole premise and the idea of and I love history, so I love the idea that it's a history museum, and at nighttime, don't you always think that when you go to a museum, what if at nighttime they all were alive and they were walking around? I think that's such a cool idea that we all think of, and then this kind of says, yeah, this is what it'd be like if all the characters in the museum were actually alive and walking around and experiencing. Anyway, so we get that with again, another Ben Stiller-led movie, who's great in the lead role here, who's the night security guard at a museum, but there's a magic tablet that all the I don't know what you call them. Everything comes alive, like I said, even from the big T-Rex bones, from Teddy Roosevelt, played by Robin Williams, which was great. All kinds of characters coming alive, including animals like the monkey and all that. Yeah, it was so fun of a premise, and him figuring out how to interact with everything and try to keep everything in order and try to learn about it was really great. And even the kind of twists of who the bad guys are and all that. Also, Owen Wilson is so great, and Steve Coogan. I love those two characters, the miniatures. Bring out some of the best laughs in the movie, anyways. But yeah, really great family comedy. I even saw it twice in the theater when it came out. I remember I loved it so much. All right, number 89, we have Cars, the Pixar movie. This is another one I feel like gets a lot of hate. A lot of people say it's one of the worst Pixar movies. I don't agree. I really loved it. Still to this day, I think it was a really funny movie, which had a really good message behind it too. I like again, we have Owen Wilson playing Lightning McQueen, race car, hotshot race car, who has to kind of gets arrested in this town of Radiator Springs, and he gets to know the characters. And it's all about like, here's a race car, and they're saying, don't rush through life, take it easy, slow down, enjoy life. I just love the whole overall message, and even this idea of like once they built the highways and people just want to go fast, we lost something. We lost a little bit of something of small town America and getting to know people and just like I said, slowing down, enjoying life. We're all about going fast and not. Anyway, so I love the whole idea. I think it's a really good message, and I mean, come on, the Tomato, one of the great characters. I think made me laugh so hard. I don't think he's been as great in the sequels, but in that first movie, he was really great. And you got Larry the Cable Guy doing a good job there as well. Yeah, I loved all the cast of characters, great voice acting overall. Again, Paul Newman, I think maybe his last performance he did here, and he's portraying a car. And actually, good backstory there. There's a great kind of, when he finds out who that character is in his past, that was a great moment. Again, it has some heart, it has some emotions in there as well. I like the friendship between Lightning McQueen and Tomato. I think are really good, anyways. But yeah, just a really great ending of this character, and he has a great character arc of being a jerk, at the beginning, really, but then being much caring more about people and all that, anyways. Also, a great song by James Taylor. I love that song as well. Should have won an Oscar. But yeah, Cars here, number 89, very underrated, I think, of a Pixar movie. Speaking of Pixar, we have another one. 88, we have Incredibles 2, the sequel Incredibles. Another great sequel that took way too long to make. Incredibles is one of the great Pixar movies, I think, and you'll see it higher on my list. But don't sleep on Incredibles 2. It was another really great Pixar movie, one of the best ones they've had, I feel like, in recent times. Taking on the characters and having a new kind of mission. Trying to bring back superhero characters in this world. Again, love those main family characters, of course. This was so animated so well. The action scenes are so well done. The scene where the mother is on her motorcycle chasing somebody, I believe. Man, what a great action sequence overall. I think there's some good twists in the movie, a lot of good new characters, a lot of good action scenes with those characters, and yeah, overall, just a really fun time again. With they definitely need to do a third one. I think this is such a great franchise. It's crazy that it's taken them so long just to do two of them. It was such a great hit, the first one. But yeah, definitely keep making these because this is a great characters, great premise of superheroes in the world and all that. So, 87, we have Warm Bodies, one of the best zombie movies, and this is a zombie romance movie. So I think it's a very fun take at the zombie genre. I do kind of enjoy the zombie genre. I'm not a horror fan, but yeah, I like horror because I do like The Walking Dead for the most part. I didn't finish that series, but it was really great stuff for most part. And I love Zombieland as well, and Warm Bodies. Those are more comedy kind of horror. I do like good comedy horror, to be honest. And Warm Bodies was, yeah, really, really good. I love the idea that, they're humans, that, they get this virus and they turn into zombies, but yet there's still humanity left in some of them. At some point, the zombies do lose their humanity and they become like monsters. But when they still look kind of human-like, they still have like in the back of their brain, they still have some humanity. And I love the idea that the zombies aren't all bad and that they can be redeemed. And we do see it out of our main character by Nicholas Hoult, who's really good in the movie. and how he kind of falls in love with this human girl, which is weird because they're zombies. How do you fall in love? But through falling in love with like this human girl, he starts becoming more human throughout the movie. And I love that. I don't know. I just love the whole premise of like the idea of like, oh, a zombie can go back to being human after being turned to a zombie. And anyway, so I don't know. There's actually some really nice moments because of that. Some nice heartwarming moments for me where I was like, wow, this was such a good premise. While also being very funny as well, I think. And another good examination, a good take on the zombie world, I think. And it was a lot of fun. So I got here Warm Bodies at number 87. Number 86, we have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I'm a big Harry Potter fan, so you can see some Harry Potter on this list, of course. And Chamber of Secrets, the second Harry Potter movie, I really like this movie. I don't know. I've heard some people put it at the bottom of their list. It's on top of my Harry Potter list. I think as a mystery, it was really great. Like, what are the Chamber of Secrets? Where are they? Who opened them? It's a really great mystery for the movie. We get a lot of good stuff like Harry can speak Parseltongue, which is a big deal because that's what Voldemort spoke, and Slytherin family can speak Parseltongue. So, like, why does he speak Parseltongue? We get one of the great characters, Lockhart, Gilderoy Lockhart. Love that character. So funny. Really well done. While all the other, of course, great cast of characters. And I just love the whole mystery aspect. I love the reveal of like the diary. When we get revealed about the diary, we meet Tom Riddle, and then we get to figure out who Tom Riddle is. Blew my mind. First time I saw it, I was like, what? Like, I was not expecting to happen what happened. I thought there's a lot of great reveals in that. There's a great spider sequence as well. Scary spider, Aragon or something like that, chasing them. Oh my gosh. Really great moment. They had great moments in this movie, in my opinion, and a great finale with him fighting that big snake at the end. Yeah. Really great stuff. I think I won't say underrated because I think this is one of the best ones that people don't, I think, give enough credit to. But yeah, Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets here, 86. 85, we have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is the fifth of the Mission Impossible movies. Big fan of the Mission Impossible movies. At least 3 through like 6, I think, are just some of the best spy action movies. Tom Cruise so good at the lead. Love Simon Pegg here. We got Jeremy Renner kind of come back a little bit here. The great new cast, I think, is Rebecca Ferguson is so great. Like, first time I've ever seen her in a movie, and she's done a lot of great stuff since. But yeah, he was great here. We introduced Alec Baldwin as well, and so forth. And of course, Ving Rhames shows up. Sean Harris is the villain of the story. I would say as a villain, I didn't think it was like the greatest villain necessarily, but again, so many great action. What makes this so good is the great action set pieces. Again, we get the great stunts from, as always, from Tom Cruise. I believe the big one in this one is the one underwater stunt at trying to get this disc or something. I don't know, and he has to go underwater. Really good stuff there. Good motorcycle chase scene as well. Ferguson has some great action sequences throughout. Great scene at the Austrian Opera House. I mean, what a great setting, and some really good stuff happening there. But yeah, another solid Mission Impossible movie with great action sequences, and Tom Cruise is so good in this role. Number 84, we have Little Women. This is this came out like 2019, right before the COVID. It was like one of the last movies I think I saw before COVID hit, and then I didn't see a movie in movie theater for like 2 years after that. This is of course a classic story that's been done many, many times, and yeah, surprisingly, I really enjoyed this. Seems more of a girly type movie. I wouldn't think it was one that was going to be this high on my list or even make this list, but I don't know. I thought it was a really well done movie, really done story, great performances overall. I mean, Saoirse Ronan as Jo, the lead, again, nails it, knocks it out of the park. She's a great actress. Got nominated for this role here. We got Florence Pugh, also an Emma Watson, and Liza Scanlon looks like is the four main girls, or Dern playing the mother. We have Timothée Chalamet playing the love interest as well in the movie. And Chris Cooper also gives a really good performance. Meryl Streep is in here. But yeah, it's a period piece. I love just the way the movie was made. I thought was so well done. I love the costuming. I love the art direction. The different sets were really well done. Like I said, the acting was spectacular. I thought the musical score I thought was really good as well. It's just like every aspect of this movie I thought was just incredibly well done. Greta Gerwig is the director. I think it's the best thing she's done. In fact, I'm not a fan of most of her stuff. This is like the only movie I really like of Greta Gerwig. Uh, but yeah, it's a really good drama story. There's some definitely sad parts. I definitely, got very emotionally invested in the characters, and especially one character, what happened to her is very sad, and but there's also some good romantic moments as well. I do love how it ends. The romance at the end, I think, is really well done, and just really warms your heart after all the sadness in the movie as well. But yeah, don't sleep on Little Women, even if you're a guy. I think it's a really well done movie, and the best of the Little Women that I've seen. I've seen like maybe 3 different Little Women renditions, and to me, this is the best one, best made one, best looking one, best acting. Everything is done so well. Yeah, we really enjoyed this one more than I ever expected to. Number 83, I have Super 8. This is a J.J. Abrams movie, kind of sci-fi thriller with these kids who discover this alien who there's a train wreck. An alien is like kind of kept by the government. It gets free, and now it's kind of wreaking havoc in the town. And these kids who are trying to shoot a movie, they're trying to shoot a horror movie during this whole thing happening. And also going through some personal dramas. The main character, the actor, mom has died before the movie starts. He has a strange relationship with his dad. So a lot of good dramatic moments here, but it's shot so well. This is, I think, the best J.J. Abrams has done as far as really incredibly. It reminds me of like a really good Spielberg movie, I think. And J.J. Abrams seems to be a student of Spielberg, and you feel like, man, this is something like Spielberg would have made back in the day. I think it's just so well done. The thrills are really good. You're on the edge of your seat on some of the scenes when the alien creature shows up at times. And the kid acting is really good. A lot of good acting here amongst the child actors. And a very emotional movie as well. And the ending has a very emotionally satisfying for the character, I thought. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really good thriller movie. Edge of your seat, looks great. Yeah, I really like Super 8. I think it's the best thing that J.J. Abrams has done so far, in my opinion. Number 82, might be surprised here. We got Jurassic Park 3. I talked about Jurassic World. I really love Jurassic World. And like I said, I really love the first 3 Jurassic Parks. I think are much better than, first one obviously got its accolades, but 2 and 3 I think are really good too. And I'm kind of just a big fan of the whole series as total. I think it's just because the first time I saw Jurassic Park back in '93 as a 10-year-old, I was so scared of dinosaurs when I watched that movie. It was so thrilling. I was so on the edge of my seat. Like, it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. And so, I don't know, I've always enjoyed these kind of movies. Even the latest ones haven't been as good, but I still get some enjoyment out of them. But 3, I think I like this one. I love that we get Sam Neill back as that character. Forget his name necessarily, but I love that they bring him back from the first movie. That was really cool to see Sam Neill back. I think it was a great character. And I think it's actually the funniest of the first 3. Jurassic World's pretty funny too at times because of Chris Pratt, I think. But this one actually thought it had more humor than the first 2, and I really enjoyed that. While also having some good thrilling moments. There's a new big bad dinosaur they're running from. There's also good raptor scenes. There's a good pterodactyl chase scene as well in here. So you get all the great animal dinosaur chase scenes throughout this movie. I love William H. Macy and Tia Leone. Those 2 characters are so great and provide a lot of the comedy, I think, in the movie. I think great additions to it. I don't know. It was just another solid Jurassic Park movie, in my opinion, that had the scares, had the thrills, had the tension that you wanted in, while also being kind of funny at times as well. So yeah, I may be surprised. Most people don't like this movie, but I don't know. I really liked it. So it's here at number 82, Jurassic Park 3. Number 81, I have Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. The second Hellboy movie I love way more than the first one. I thought it was okay at times, but I don't know. It does get a little too gruesome at times for my take, and too satanic as well. But this one had more of an action. It was more of an action movie, I think, than even the first one. While also being very funny. Again, I love action and comedy. You mix those two together, I love it. This was a good action comedy movie with also being very sci-fi, of course. Hellboy is this, devil-like character, and there's so many different sci-fi characters in this movie, trolls and goblins and all kinds of crazy stuff that you're gonna see. And yeah, Guillermo del Toro is so good with visuals. I think he's such a visual director, and I do love the set designs are incredible. The makeup work, the character designs are so good, and that's what really makes this a lot of fun. Like I said, Hellboy though is such a great character. Ron Perlman is so good as Hellboy. I'm sad that they only made two. I wish Ron Perlman could have made a third one. I think they were going a really good direction with the second one. Like I said, he's such a fun character. He's funny, he's quippy, he's brave. I don't know. He's just such an enjoyable character every time he's on screen. But yeah, and then the last action sequence is so well done. And the Golden Army sequence is so good. It's so well shot. I don't know how to say it. It's just like a perfect sci-fi action movie, in my opinion, and one of the funnest movies I've ever got to see and watch many, many times. And definitely, I would say definitely. I'm not a big Guillermo del Toro fan. I think most of his movies are kind of a little too out there for me, but this one, it's out there, but it's also so much fun. All right, number 80, we have Violent Night. This was such a fun movie again, and they're making a Violent Night 2 coming out this year. I'm so excited about the sequel because I thought this was such a fun look, a different take at the Santa Claus character played by David Harbour, who I think is such a great actor. I like just about anything he's in. He's so good at being comedic sometimes, being dramatic, especially comedic. He's very good. And his take on this Santa Claus is like this used to be a Viking warrior back in the day. He's more of a violent Santa Claus than we've ever seen, not counting like the horror Santa Claus movies I'm sure are out there. But I love that he's very cynical. He doesn't really believe in Christmas anymore. The kids are brats and all this. I love this, very, definitely more rated R style Santa Claus, not the more family friendly, yet has that Santa Claus magic and everything. And anyways, it's a fun premise where he's at a house. There's a kind of hostage situation. He's stuck. He doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't really care to try to save his family, but there's a little girl that is in trouble, so he decides to stay and help kill these bad guys. And again, we get this kind of this callback to his like days before he became Santa Claus. So there's a cool kind of lore to it that, again, we see him without his shirt, and he's got all these Viking tattoos, I guess, or whatever. And he has this hammer that he used to kill people with a hammer back in the day. And so I love that sequence when he gets the sledgehammer and starts going crazy and all the bad guys. What a fun sequence. The violence is over the top. It's blood spurting. It's so violent that it's actually kind of fun. I don't like too much violence, but yet if the violence is so comedic, so much cartoonish, I kind of enjoy it because I go, oh, okay, I can't take this seriously, the violent part anyways. But yeah. And again, John Leguizamo, actually a very good bad guy here. I thought he did a good job as well. And yeah, it's such a funny movie, great action sequences, great ending to it as well. I'm very excited for the second one. Surprisingly, a really good Christmas movie, though not for the family, I'll tell you that. Number 79, we have The Martian, probably the last Ridley Scott movie I really enjoyed, and last space movie I've really enjoyed, because space movies can be very, very boring most of the time. Like Interstellar, let's say, for instance. But this did a really good job of making a story about a guy who's stranded. I know it's based on a book, I believe. But he's stranded on Mars. He's got to figure out how to survive. He gets, a storm hits. He gets divided by his crew. They think he's dead. But then when they found he's alive, they try to come rescue him. So most of the movie is how are we going to rescue this guy from Mars and all the people back home trying to put the resources together. Really great cast of characters here. I know Don Glover is in here. Kristen Wiig shows up. Oh my gosh, so many good. Sean Bean's in here. Um, I'm forgetting all the actors that are in here, but of course Matt Damon playing the lead here. It surprisingly was very interesting and exciting and very funny. And I even like, I'm not a science guy, but yeah, I love the idea that this guy uses his scientific knowledge to keep himself alive long enough to be rescued. I think it's very interesting. And the idea that they have Matt Damon, recording everything in the camera, so that's how we get him. So he's talking, is that he's talking to a camera, recording what's going on, and kind of, the timelining, everything. I think makes it very interesting, his parts. But then you also have all the parts back home of them scrambling around trying to figure out how to save him. So it works very well as a space movie where you have someone stranded on a planet. A lot of times they don't work. This one really worked well, I think, because it did have the humor in it, had the great writing in it as well, and it was actually very exciting, especially the end, because the whole time you're thinking, how do they get this guy off? And the way they do it is just very exciting. In fact, the whole rescue part of it was absolutely incredible. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I mean, they do rescue him. And so it does have a great ending to it. And it actually kind of incredible to be like, wow, like anything could have gone wrong and somehow they were able to do it. So it's a piece of fiction, but it's so fun. Anyways, yeah. And so this is one that way better than I expected to be, kind of a very hidden gem for me, even though it did very well, Oscar nominated and all that. But anyways, that's Martian of 79. Number 78, we have Hot Fuzz. Again, combining comedy and action here. This is my favorite of the Edgar Wright movies. He's a bit of hit or miss director for me. A lot of times his comedies, sometimes they work well, sometimes they don't. This definitely worked well as a comedy and kind of over-the-top action, because it's kind of almost playing an homage to the great action 80s movies like Point Blank they mention a lot, Bad Boys, whatever. So it's almost kind of a parody of old action, or I say old, of like 80s action movies, while being his own thing. And Simon Pegg is so good. I really love Simon Pegg here as the more serious cop in a small town. He's figuring out all these accidental deaths are actually murders and who's behind it. Really great character. Nick Frost, of course, is kind of the over-the-top kind of buffoon character. He does really good here. I'm trying to look at the cast here. What's his name? I don't see him on here, but I think his name's Timothy something. He was James Bond. Timothy Dalton, sorry, I had to think about it. Timothy Dalton's kind of the villain character, is very fun in this movie as well. But yeah, kind of a great cast of kind of quirky characters in this English town. And yeah, so many funny moments throughout it. And then they go to this really over-the-top action sequence at the end that's also a lot of fun. So yeah, really fun movie again here with Hot Fuzz. Number 77, we have John Wick. If you know me, I'm a huge fan of the John Wick series, and this is the first one that really started it all and really gave Keanu Reeves another life, as one of the great action stars of our time. I mean, he already did the Matrix movies. That was like his big franchise. I think the John Wick series is an even better franchise for him and has been the best thing he's ever done. Just love the character of John Wick. He's this assassin who's retired, but then, as we all know, this gangster's son kills his dog, who his wife gave him before she died, and so he's emotionally, vested in this dog, as it helped him grieve over his wife's death, and so it makes him go back into revenge. I guess he really just wants to get revenge, but he goes back into the assassin underworld that he left behind. Love it, great premise. Keanu Reeves looks great in the role with all black, the black hair, the black suit. Action sequences are just some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, this put action movies on another level. Like all other action movies that I thought were pretty good, John Wick was like, nope, we're gonna notch it up another level. This is how a good action movie should be. It's so well choreographed. It's so well shot. Keanu Reeves is doing most of the moves himself. That's what makes it so good. Lots of long shots, a lot of wide shots. So you see Keanu Reeves really doing all this stuff. Yeah, the shoot 'em out scenes in his house are so epic. The dance clubs shootout another epic scene as well. Yeah, so much good stuff like that throughout the movie that you're like, wow, I didn't know. I thought I knew what a good action movie was, but then I saw that and go, no, this is what a good action movie is. And I think the series gets better with each sequel, except for the fourth one I didn't like. But 2 and 3 I think are also very excellent. But this started it all with the series and with the character, and I think Keanu Reeves, he doesn't have to say much, but that's what makes the character so fun and kind of mysterious and interesting of a character, is that he doesn't have to say a lot. But it has some really good lines in it too, like "I think I'm back." Like it's such a great line. Anyways, yeah, great, perfect action movie that gets better over time. All right, I'm going to end it on the part one with number 76, and this is Chicago, which won Best Picture. I believe this was 2002, won Best Picture. Big fan of musicals, and this was a really good musical. From of course, obviously, I never seen the musical itself. I didn't know anything about Chicago until I saw the movie, and I was like, wow, what a fun premise. I mean, it deals with this girl who murders her boyfriend or husband, whatever, and goes to jail, but tries to figure a way around it, and meets all these other characters, and is a good cast overall. You have Renee Zellweger in the lead as Roxy Hart, who gets nominated for Best Actress. Catherine Zeta-Jones wins the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress here. You also have John C. Reilly getting nominated for a really small role here, but he has a really good scene, good musical scene here as well. Richard Gere didn't get nominated, but man, great as Billy Flynn, the lawyer. Really great stuff there as well. And even Queen Latifah gets a nomination, which I didn't think she should have. It was a weird nomination. But that just shows how much people really love this movie, and how well it's the Bob Fosse style of dancing and all that. And it's not, I don't know if it's the most memorable music I've ever heard, but yeah, it's still very good. All that jazz is great. Mr. Cellophane, I said the John C. Reilly one. Richard Gere's, give him that razzle dazzle is a great sequence too. I think the visuals is what I really love about this. The dance sequence is really a great dance movie. So many great dancing moments throughout. And I love that the whole movie, all the musical moments take place in Roxy Hart's mind. So it's like they're not even really happening. It's just she sees herself. She loves musicals, and she wants to be like on stage, singing. And so she sees all these musical numbers in her head. So when we see a musical number, it's basically what she pictures is going on as a musical number. So I think that's such a fun way to go about making a musical without it being like, in a usual musical, it's like, oh, they just break out in song and dance. It doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense here because it's not really happening. It's all in her mind. I don't know. I think that was a great work around the idea of a musical, because they're in prison and all this. And yet they do everything, each musical number, like the razzle dazzle scenes, like the courtroom's like a circus, and he's like, give them the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle them, and he even has this like tap dance scene, like how as an analogy of how you tap dance around questions and answers and trick, the jury into, around the truth. It's all about not telling the truth and trying to tell lies but making it sound like the truth. Oh, love it. Great stuff there. Maybe my favorite scene though is when he tells her what to tell. He kind of she's on trial for murder, but he's trying to make her look innocent. And so there's this whole sequence where he's like, looks like he's a puppet master, and he's like just pulling all the strings, and he has her on his knee like a dummy, and he's pretending like he's making her talk and seeing this whole sequence. Oh, it was perfect. Again, great analogies to what's going on, I guess, in the real life. I love how every musical number is also announced. Like I don't know, I think it's a Taye Diggs or something like that. It announces every musical number before it happens too. What a cool addition! And of course, the costuming is great. Set design's great. It's just a great looking movie. Great dance numbers. For me, as a fan of musicals, I just had so much fun with it. The story premise I didn't care so much about, but just like I said, it was just really well done and enjoyable anyways, and entertaining, I guess. So that's why I really enjoy this. One of my favorite musicals now, and it's here at number 76 on my top 100 favorite movies of the first quarter century, of the 21st century, I guess you can say. Yeah, and so that's the first 25 movies on the list, and we got 75 more to go, but please feel free to comment. What do you think about these movies? Which ones are your favorites? And all that. Love to see your comments anyways. And besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for liking it. Thank you to all my subscribers for 20.